Hey everyone, it's been a minute. It is 8 o'clock on a Friday evening, so I'm glad you could join me. We're going to talk about the weather for next week, focus on what might be when it comes to winter weather. So you come to the right place. So kick back, relax, spend a few minutes with me, and I'll get you acclimated on what we can look forward to. I'll just keep an eye on to see if things are going to go well. So I'm looking forward to some action because it's been a little too quiet around here for my taste. So that's one of the things I'm watching for. The other thing is I'm trying out some new things on the back end. So if I can get this to work right while I stare, not at you, but with you. Let's see, autosave. Oh no, what does this mean? Oh boy, I better hit restore. Because I never exited, that's why. Oh, rookie mistake. Ooh, but it's working. Okay, let me exit this nonsense. I don't know what I just did. Alright, so just hang with me for a minute. I am a jack of all trades and I gotta do it all. Oh, good, it's working. Okay, good. Now I can show you what I'm working on. First, I couldn't show you because I wanted you to be surprised. Where am I going? It's been too long since I've played with this button. Okay, so I'm on my website. This is AaronTuttleWeather.com, by the way. And so it's a WordPress site. On the back end here, I've got a live stream page. You can also view this on your weather app, through my weather app on your phone. But the cool thing about this, so the stream is on there now. If I press play, it'll show. But below that is the chat window for YouTube. So for my YouTube subscribers that want to be chatting through on this page, you can do that. In other words, you can go to my live stream page on my website, AaronTuttleWeather.com, and type something and say, hey, how's it going? And then you guys can have an entire conversation just like you do on Facebook. So it's the same type of idea. It's just a chat window. You guys can chat back and forth and go, what do you say? So it's just provided by YouTube. And I broadcast live on YouTube and through my Facebook page, my main page, and then also through my private closed group Facebook page for my supporters. So there's many ways to be able to get this content, this information. So I'm glad to have you. All right, well, tell you what, let's go on into the action for next week. Let's see, what do I start with? Yeah, start with this. Okay. So you know what I like to do? Get into the maps. So basically, this is the forecast of all the computer models, and I do mean all of them, for 72 hours. So they basically all have an area of low pressure down here, big low. Let's see, where am I going? Big low up here. So what happens is basically the cold air comes southward out of Canada. This is the upper level pattern of the atmosphere. So it drives the cold air, the surface fronts, all that kind of stuff. And what happens is a big fat ridge builds up around this neck of the woods. So what happens is the ridge kind of pumps up like this and helps to drive this cold air down. All right, now that all happens down at the surface, whereas this is an upper level chart, so I'm just trying to help relay the similarities. But what we're focused on is this guy out here. And anytime you can get a cutoff low that's away from the main jet stream track, which is now going to be up in this area, then it's out here all by itself. And it meanders and it drives slow and it typically moves east. Sometimes it can move south down here into Mexico. Sometimes it can move a little bit north, say across New Mexico. But this is the potential troublemaker for us, because the models are horrible at forecasting the exact track of these things this far out. Even sometimes 48 hours out, they're horrible. Usually about 24 hours out, they finally got an idea. But which is sad in the state of forecasting and meteorology. Just because the flow down here is typically weak and anemic, and we don't have a great sensoring network to be able to really fine-tune things. So it's kind of a double whammy. Regardless, this is what we're going to be looking forward to for next week. Now, we got the cold front that'll be coming in on Monday. What we're going to do is take a look at the upper levels at 500 millibars. This is the mid-level, so where the jet stream brings these upper-level disturbances, little storm systems. So here's the Japanese model, which has it into western Texas for Wednesday morning. Now, when I say Wednesday morning, it's because each model has a different position and a different day. Some of them are Tuesday, some are Wednesday, some of them are Thursday. So that's Tuesday morning. The German model is out here over the El Paso region. And that's for Tuesday morning. So that's a full 24 hours ahead of the Japanese model. Now it moves it east and southeast across central Texas and falls apart. So when that happens, it doesn't do much to our weather at all, much less even central or northern Texas. This is the Canadian model. It also starts out west of El Paso. This is on, let me see, Tuesday morning. It's just southwest actually, so it's actually in New Mexico. We go into Tuesday afternoon. Wednesday morning it shears out across Texas. So when it has this sheared look to it, this long wave trough we call it, you don't get much out of it. You need a good closed compact low like what we saw with the Japanese model. See if that one comes through, you see it's got actually a closed low, closed isobar. So in other words, it's small, it's tight, it's strong, it's going to provide a good lift and some, in this case, probably a little bit of rain and snow or some freezing rain or whatever may be the case. And that's the output for that model. So that's kind of how things play out. So we want to look, again, we, meaning me, and some of you, if you want winter weather, you want it more of that closed appearance. Okay, so we're going to go to the American model, so GFS, and it's got kind of a similar type situation as the European. It starts off out here. This is Monday night. Let's go Tuesday morning. Let's see, Tuesday morning, it's about El Paso, a little more north than that. It's starting to show the signs of opening up and becoming more sheared as on a Tuesday rolls on. See, there you go. It's got this, pick a different color. It's got this little appearance. It just kind of cuts in like this. So there's no closed low. So boo. Boo on the GFS. That's the American model. Boo on the European model because they did the same thing. Let's see. The German model, kind of a half boo. And the Canadian model, which, hey, or excuse me, this is the Japanese model, which is a hey, thumbs up. What about the Canadian model? Well, let's take a look at it. So the Canadian model, coming on Tuesday morning, is out here west of El Paso, Four Corners area in New Mexico. And then we could go through Tuesday afternoon. Let's see, there's Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning. It's down here in Cross South Texas, and then it starts to fall apart. Wednesday evening, and it's nothing to it. So I'm going to show you though the importance of this. So we'll go to let's go Tuesday afternoon. All right, so this got the low basically across the Mexico-Texas border. Again, we need the low basically like up here for Oklahoma and North Texas to get some action. So we don't like these far southern ends. Here's a look at the Canadian model, the ensembles. In other words, if you were to push this Canadian model several different ways from here to Sunday, it's going to come out with that output. Well, the black line, boy, this is a really small map. So let me do this for you. Whoa, that's a really big map. Okay, so the outline here, this is the control, they call the control model, the one run I just showed you. But what these blue areas here is the uncertainty in the ensembles of where the low should be, or could be. So even the Canadian model at this point doesn't really know where to place the low. Now what I don't like to see is it's trying to put it more down here. Now that, again, puts it into Mexico, it's South Texas, and does nothing for us. So I don't like that either. However, earlier today, when I was looking at some, I can't show you every model, but earlier today there was a cluster of global ensemble runs that had the low kind of coming from here and then coming through like this. And that is what got my attention. So that's why I started to look at this, whereas before I just blew off the whole event. Because if it's going down here in Mexico and South Texas, it means nothing for us. But if I start to see indications it could come north, then that's when things kind of change. So that is why I was kind of talking about it here for today. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I thought you might want to know. So we could take a look at the outcome, potential outcome anyway, of what would happen in each of these cases. So let's see, the limited on the Japanese, but what it does with that northern track focuses most of the precip here across North Texas, Central Texas, that kind of region. So will this be a mixture of freezing rain, sleet, and snow? Well, a little too early to tell this far out, but the good news is there's a chance for that because temperatures are going to be falling quite a bit colder than what they would normally be because we have a couple of cold fronts moving in that kind of reinforce one another. So if I were to look at the 850 temps on Wednesday, they're close to zero. There's Thursday morning. Remember, this is the slowest model, and it's got 850 temps around -2. So that's a couple thousand feet off the ground. And what that will allow is that precipitation to be frozen at some point. Now, if it's frozen all the way down to the ground, it's all the way frozen all the way up, well, then it's snow. If it kind of melts a little bit somewhere, then refreezes, then it goes back to freezing rain and sleet. So North Texas, if you're really wanting some action, you're rooting for the Japanese to be true. Now let's see, let's go. Oh, let's do this one. The German model. Let's see what it had some rain up here to North Texas for Monday night into Tuesday. And it wasn't a really big show maker, but it does at least have the precipitation Tuesday morning in Dallas. So that's at least something to look forward to if you live in North Texas. Now all you have to do is just get it a couple degrees colder to finally get some action out of it. So these regardless of the position, it's going to help produce some precipitation. The question is at that point is, what form is it going to be in, and that's where you kind of have to look for things. Let's see. This is the European model. Let me zoom in because it's got some action here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I know you guys down there watch, and you want to say, hey, are we finally going to get some snow here in North Texas? And I said, well, let's take a look. Okay. So there you go. There's your North Texas map with the mixture of rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow. So this model is the European. It doesn't really for sure which form it's going to be in. It just knows there's going to be a little bit of mix of winter weather in here. This is for Monday night to Tuesday morning. Before the thing kind of warms up during the day enough to where it kind of transitions it back over. And that can sometimes happen. But, hey, there you go. There's something to look forward to. So, has my eyeballs, and it probably should have yours. All right, let's go to the... where am I going? Let's go to GFS. Let's go to this one. Oh, that's pretty lame. Alright, we'll still do this anyways. Let me get a little closer in. Can't be seeing all that. Okay, now the GFS, let's see, for Monday night into Tuesday morning. It's got about a quarter of an inch of precipitation. Now, the question is, of course, will it be cold enough for some snow or something like that? And this model is saying it's going to be a little too warm. But the deal is with the Arctic air, sometimes it overestimates the amount of cold air, and you can get a different outcome. So what we're focused on is three things. One is, of course, how cold is it going to be? Two, the position of the upper low. And then three, how much precipitation will fall, kind of in what form. So those are the three questions that we'll try to answer over the coming couple of days. But at least what I can tell you is all the signals are there. They're just all over the place when it comes between the different models. Which, it'd be nice if they were all to agree, but just kind of like in politics, no one ever agrees on anything. The models are the same way. All right, so here's Tuesday morning. This is what model I'm on, the Canadian. It's got a little action down here in western Texas and some rain, looks like, in central Texas, and that's about it for that one. So each one at least is producing precip. Each one has the cold air, of course, that comes in. And each one has the lift in the atmosphere and the track of the low, whether or not it shears out, we'll see, and then how cold it can be. So I'll tell you what, let's focus on the cold temperatures, not only coming up, for next week, but also in the extended, to kind of give you an idea of just what you're going to have to brace for. Ugh, it's gross. Unless you love it really cold, then you're going to be happy. All right, where we want? We want this one. No. Let's go this one. Okay, now I do have some good news for you. All right, and that is the worst of the worst when it comes to the cold air stuff that comes out of Canada, where they wake up to minus 30, and that's a balmy day for them. Well, that's the purple and pink you see on the map that shows up across central and eastern Canada. That dives southward into the northern plains and into the Great Lakes for next week. All we get is glancing blows. Like, for example, we have the glancing blow on Monday into Tuesday, and then we kind of have a little bit of a rebound for Wednesday to Thursday, and then another glancing blow for Thursday and Friday. Then that moves off to the Midwest and the Northeast. As we head into, after that, another shot comes out of central Canada, but it still focuses kind of mostly to the east. But what you are seeing is more and more of these bluer, white, and purple colors out here out west. So cold air continues to kind of filter in slowly over the Rockies, and this cold air isn't too far from us. And then we'll have additional cold air that'll back in from Canada in the western parts and build, and that will come southward. So the second half of December is going to have these repetitive cold shots, and yeah, we may briefly, moderate between a few of them, but otherwise, the second half of December will be a lot colder in general terms than November or even the first week of December. So the December to remember has potential to bring us a couple of storm systems and some bouts of some pretty cold air. Let me go long term. So let's do this. Let's go way out there. Way out there. Okay, same idea. The white stuff on the map, which is in Canada, let's keep it up there. Really don't care to have it down here. That's the worst of the worst. What I was going to show you is, as we go through time, this is December 22nd. All right, so this is way out there. But the reason why I'm showing you this is because I want to set the stage for Christmas. And I wrote about this on my blog that you can still read. Nothing's really changed in it, other than I'll just keep an eye on what happens on potentially for Tuesday. And nothing may happen. That system may go too far south, which is what my original forecast had. So unless it jots north, the blog will be good, golden for the next 2 weeks. But let's see. Up in here, you can see all the pink and the white. And this is back building out here in Western Canada. For us to get our really brutal cold Arctic outbreaks, they need to come from this area of Alaska. Well, they really do come from Alaska, but from there to the pole, and they zip down the western sides of Canada, and then they'll come spill southward. That's hard to see. Right on here into the Rocky Divide, and then kind of just, that's like a sweet way to kind of dam the cold air of the west and let it filter on down on its east side right here in Oklahoma. So we got our worst cold spells typically from that pattern, and they last longer. They're not here for just a day and then gone like they are when they go to the northeast. These are here to stay. All right, so that's the cold surface pattern. Plenty of cold air just all over the place. You even have some here nearby. Heck, we're at 32 degrees that morning on the 18th, but then there's still plenty of Arctic air just north stone's throw across into Kansas that can easily come back down from this guy right here. So that's the stage for the surface. Let's go to the upper levels. And I haven't looked at this actually today, but we'll look together. Alright, so there we go. Okay, so we have what is trying to be a upper level storm system here, and you've got one here, and you've got one here. So all this mess, your take home is a very active pattern. B, we have these upper level disturbances out here all over the place, and all we have to do is get one timed just right, and to get one that comes pretty much right over Oklahoma, and then we got ourselves a winter storm. So that's what you need. We've got the ingredients. They're all over the place. It's kind of like they're on the table. You're making a cake, and you've got this, and this, and it's all sitting right there. And you're just slowly putting it in a bowl, and you're going to see what happens. So that's where we're at right now with the extended outlook. The models are all seeing all the signals. Now we just have to throw it into the bowl and get something to come out of it. Now, am I rooting for winter weather? You know I am. Now, is it going to become a traffic problem for traveling? Maybe. But way too early to be talking about that. It's just something to watch for. And this is before Christmas. And I wouldn't mind having a little white stuff on the ground for Christmas. I don't know about you. I'm not asking for a lot. As Jody would say, a skiff of snow, which a skiff of snow in Canada is like 2 inches or something. For us, that's a blizzard, snowstorm, skip school, close work, close everything, shut down the city. But apparently in Winnipeg, that's just a skiff of snow, and that's just a little slight nuisance when you dust it off your car and you go to work or school or whatever else. They would probably laugh at us wondering how we survive down here. Anyway, that's what I got for you on that aspect. Let me take a look here. Okay, so this is my YouTube backend where I can watch you guys chat. So got a couple of you guys that have chatted here, and then I can go and pull that in, like I said, on my page here where you guys have timed in. Also on my website, aarontotalweather.com, it also shows the Facebook live stream. which is down here. So you can't chat on this part like you can the YouTube version, but at least you can watch. So if you're on your phone, you don't want to chat, you want to read anybody else's stuff, you can still pull it up through the live stream on my weather app, AT's Weather to Go, and you'll be able to see it that way. Let's see. I think that was all I had for you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually load up the video so I can see the comments for you Facebookers. Because I haven't been reading your comments. But for those that are still there, if you want to ask me a question, I'll be able to answer it. In theory, of course. Okay, Melissa says that's just disgusting. And some of us Cali people are not ready for a cold snap. Oh boy. So Chad Bradley is in the house. Hey, Jody will be here for Christmas in the next 3 months. So we're going to have to get together, my friend. All right. Jeff, I hope you're getting excited. I expect a phone call from you talking about winter weather soon and how crazy the models are going. Chad, sitting at the Thunder game and listening to you. That's how exciting the game is. Hey, man, at least it's not a Dallas Cowboy game. Man, I gave up on the Dallas Cowboys a long time ago, and every time I turn them on this year, they just disappoint me. I just look, Jerry Jones needs to fire himself, and then Jason Garrett needs to go right along with him. They need a whole new team coming in there. I vote for Bob Stoops to bail on the XFL and go across the street to the Cowboys and just take over. I mean, that's how bad it is. But that's my opinion, and I can say that because I am a Dallasite. Unfortunately, Dallas Cowboy fan from the beginning, which back then was the good years. These latter 10 years have been brutal. Oh, I do miss the Tom Landry days. That's how far back I go with Roger Staubach. And, man, those are some good days. Okay. And even Danny White. I thought Danny White's a pretty good player. But in today's day and age of quarterbacks, he probably would stink. But, hey, back then, it's America's team. America. All right. So let me... Jen wants to build some snow creatures. Oh, that was such a politically correct statement. Snow creatures. I see how you said. You didn't say snowmen. You didn't say snow women. You didn't say snowflake. You didn't say snow binary. You didn't say snow he, her, she, him pronouns. You said snow creatures. That was very, very impressive. All right. Robbie agrees. Thanks, Jane. Okay, let me scroll up some of these comments because, like I said, I wasn't able to see some of them when I was doing my deal. A vorticity cake. I like that. Who wrote that? That was Mike. Oh, of course it was. Oh, man. You gonna come down here and visit me? You better. And next time we better go out to lunch. Let's see. Okay, I can't go very far on the comments because Facebook only allows me to see like 20 at a time. All right, let's go to... You guys can't see what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. To my patrons on my private Facebook page that they're a part of. You can get that becoming a Facebook fan supporter or joining a Patreon. The link is in this broadcast, by the way. Like this thing you're watching has a description, typed it, and there's some direct links on there you guys can look at. It's got my Amazon store on there. It's got a whole bunch of stuff that you might be interested in or find of interest. That was two ways of saying the same thing, whichever resonated in your brain. Okay, let's go. Oh, wait a minute. If I go video. Oh, don't do that now. How am I going to pop that out? Hold on. Give me a moment. I think they changed something. Facebook's always changing something. If you guys ever get frustrated, trust me, try being the content creator. I let them have it on a survey the other day. They said, how you like our service? I said, it stinks. Okay, so here we are. All right, let me scroll up, see your comments here. What's this? I got several of you looking for some snow. I'm with you. Now, I got to say this. Yes, Dry, I am live and well. I know you want a zip-up hoodie, Karen. I can't get them, unfortunately. I'd have to change. I'm limited on what I can do for clothing and stuff. What's available out there on the click it and ship it type idea that you don't have to pay a lot for and still get good quality. So for me to do something different, I'd have to stock it and put it somewhere. And this bare bones operation isn't that kind of funded. So you'll have to go without the zip up part. But as soon as they offer it, I'm totally on it because I love zip up hoodies. But I'm wearing my current hoodie right now. It is so warm. It's almost too warm sometimes. Okay, so where was I? I was saying something. I got sidetracked. Squirrel. I don't even know what it was. Oh, yeah. It might not even be snow for next Tuesday or Wednesday, period. It might even be a little bit of that freezing stuff of ice and freezing rain. You never know. It's too far out to be talking about that right now. And don't even think about asking about snow totals. Remember, that's a snow totals I like 24 hours, really, to be honest with you. 48, you might have an idea. Beyond that, it's just a guessing game. Actually, to tell you the truth, snow totals are always a guessing game. So, but if you've watched me long enough, you've heard me preach about that. The models will never be able to tell you exactly how much snow you're going to have, which is why there's always a range. If you ever notice that, the Weather Service, look, the Weather Service and myself, all weather people, they turn into the cable guy. You know what the cable guy does? It comes to fix your problem between the hours of what? Noon and 4? Or is it a 5-hour window? Noon and 5? Well, same thing with snow totals. You're going to get between 2 and 4 inches, or 2 and 5 inches, or 2 and 6 inches. That way, it's somewhere in there. Seriously. That's basically about as bad as it is. Caitlin wants 5 to 13 inches. Boy, Caitlin wants quite a range there. Let's see. Let me go back and look at some more comments. So I got a lot of you Dallas Cowboy fans supporting my statement there. Jimmy Johnson would have been great if Jerry Jones wasn't such a punk. And, man, the way Jerry fired Tom Landry, boy, that irritated me. I was not happy. But then we won a Super Bowl, Jimmy Johnson. Then I was like, okay, I'll let that go. He still did him wrong, though. So Reagan's got a little delay on her end. I gotcha. Sometimes it needs a little delay. Our forecasts in Canada seem to be relatively accurate when I was growing up. Is it easier to forecast snow up there? So in Canada, your version of accurate is going to be based off your perception. And your perception is you growing up, which implies you were quite a bit on the young, just off the teat age group. So your memory is not going to be as good as you think it is, just like my memory at 46 is horrible compared to what it was at 30. There was a sweet spot in there, late 20s, early 30s. Before that, you stink. After that, you stink. So we both stink. But anyway, up there, they have a lot of clipper systems, and they have, it depends on what part of Canada you're in, of course, and then they have certain things they watch for on a pattern. So, I don't know, I haven't watched them enough to know how accurate they are. I just know forecasting up there's a little different down here. We have a lot more annoying things to deal with, and they have some of those less annoying things when it comes to model data and everything else. So you're up there till you were 26. Oh, you just missed the peak of your memory. Let's see, wait till you're 70. Don't tell me that. It's just around the corner. I'm alone in here, Raider for life. Oh boy. Hey, I like that new stadium out there in Vegas. That's something. So, alright, see my patrons. You guys got anything? Cheering on the Cowboys. You guys see my post earlier about the car issue with the seat? Seriously, man. I'm not joking. Jody and I went to Walmart, quick run there, grab something. And I go to get my wallet out to hand her the credit card. I don't know what happened. I guess maybe I bumped it or something. It was on the console, and it went down between the seat and the console. I swear it took 10 minutes to get that stupid thing out. Because you couldn't reach it on the top, and you couldn't reach it from the back end, and you couldn't reach it from the front end. It was caught right there in no man's land. And then when you did try to finally get a piece of it, part of it would catch on the belt buckle end and prevent it from pulling out. And honestly, I almost lost it. I almost lost it. I said, what idiot designed this whole trap from hell? Oh, I was so irritated. But we laughed about it, but I was still irritated. In fact, I couldn't get the stupid wallet out. Man, and I mean, my other car wasn't that bad. This one was way worse. But still, yeah, you guys are all posting that little piece of foam, a $20 piece of foam. I'll just go to Hobby Lobby and cut me out a $1 piece. I can't believe they're selling the thing for $20. Then of course I saw that doesn't even work on half the vehicles. So I don't know, but I mean, there's some solutions, I'm sure. It's just I like to complain, so I'm complaining. Man, why is my CPU at 90%? That's a bunch of nonsense. Hold on a second. I want to whip this thing out. 100%. I'm going to have to get on with my software company about that. Now, wait a minute. Over here it says 67. 65. That's an erroneous number. That's a bug. I'm going to have to talk to him about that. That's not going to fly. Well, now there it says 100. I'm just talking to myself. You guys just go ahead about your own business for a second. Why am I at 100? What's going on here? There's a... I don't understand. It says 100. So what's the other processes? I don't know. This must be a hidden process. I can't find it. These numbers don't add up. Maybe they do. Okay. Anyway, that's enough of that. So, as long as I'm broadcasting, you guys can watch me. Everything's working. It's all right. So, Stefan, I will wear your hoodie because you send me warm temperatures. Hey, man, thanks for ordering one. He's up there near Quebec in Canada, where it's they get some awesome snow up there. He always sending me videos of it driving around like it's a piece of cake. I'm so jealous. I can get some real snow. It's great. So Roquesa, that's a unique name. I think I've ever said that or saw that before. Roquesa. Glad you're entertained. Yeah, a lot of Alberta Clippers passing the Great Lakes. Chuck, I get you. My credit card was there. Man, speaking of credit cards, listen to this. You guys are with me on a Friday night, so this is where I just talk. So feel free just to, say something back or whatever. But I have a Chase card, and I sign up on the app to get notified anytime something's bought. Well, I get a notif, and it's instant, by the way. I mean, as soon, like if I go to the gas station and plug in the deal, 2 seconds later, it's sending me a notification, phone notification at the top saying you just authorized 7-Eleven to whatever. And so I got one for Nordstrom's Direct for $1,095. And I went, what? I don't think so. And at first, I thought it was my other credit card, and I texted Jody. I said, "You didn't buy anything in Nordstrom's for $1,000." She said, "Heck no." So I was like, "Oh, it's not even that card anyway. It's the one that's in my wallet." And so I, of course, I called Chase, and I'm not no one's liable for credit cards, which is why you don't want to use your bank card, just because your bank card will reimburse you, but you're out of your checking account for however many days. A credit card, who cares if it takes a couple of days to get reimbursed? But the point was that I got notified about this, and I said, So I called them, told them it's fraud. I got the card right here. I don't know how they did it. So I called Nordstrom's, and I said, hey, let's let you guys know somebody just bought $1,000 worth of stuff on my card. And I said, you guys do the 3-digit card on the back online? And she says, actually, yes, we do. And I said, interesting. I said, so what address they have on there? I said, huh. So they had my address and my card number, all that stuff. And I had the card. And I looked, it was a new card. Only used at a few places online for purchases. And they're all HTTPS. And I guarantee you, somehow, some way, it still got lifted. So that's irritating. But they canceled the order on their end, and it's all good. But the whole point of that story was to get the app notification, so you'll know when something like that happens instantly versus a month later when you get your statement. See, I knew I had a point to that whole story. I was going to get there eventually. Okay, so when are y'all getting married? Boy, I don't know. Is Jody watching this? Wait, she is. Oh, boy. Jody, you should be at work. Tell your boss. So, yeah, we're going to move on by that question. What? I can't tell you. It's secret. Anyway, so where was I? I'm not sure I was anywhere. I was just saying stuff. Hey, we got a Seahawks fan in here. Amy Samuels. So, Jody, there you go. Amy's a big Seahawks fan. Oh, you're all done. That's right. You got to dip out early. Must be a slow night. All right. Karen says hello, by the way. Okay, let me go back. You guys have any questions, by the way, real quick? What else was I going to say? I was going to say something else. Unweather related, of course. Oh. Look, and I get this because a lot of you are not on Twitter. And because I only have 6,000 followers or 7,000, something like that on Twitter versus 100 and whatever it is on this one. And I always wonder why the huge discrepancy. I'm like, man, is there nobody on Twitter that follow me? Starting to get a complex. And then, of course, I'm on Twitter. But as a content creator and not a consumer, I don't spend a lot of time consuming stuff. I'm mostly spending my time creating stuff. So it's a little different. Well, I have been lately, because the weather's been quiet, spending a little bit more time consuming of what was out there in the Twitter world. And all I can tell you is it's a bunch of angry people perpetually pissed off at one another and everything in the world. They're just mad all the time, and all they do is gripe and complain. And there's a lot of moral high ground virtue signaling where their, stuff don't stink. And I'm just like, over and over and over, I'm like, good grief, I can't take this anymore. I said, you guys can have it. This is what Twitter is. Screw this platform. So for you guys that don't have it, you're not missing anything. But if you do have it, make sure you follow me on there, because you're not going to get any of that nonsense. You're just going to get some weather stuff. And honestly, a lot of the weather stuff that I can post is easier and faster to do on Twitter. And I post a little bit different content. So it benefits you to get on Twitter. And I don't post that often, but when I do, it's worth it. But yeah, I'm almost tired of all social media, which is terrible to say because that's how I do all this stuff on. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's a platform for loudmouths that they're not happy in life. It's basically what it is. And they got way too much time on their hands. And there's some fools out there. And I do mean fools. And they have a microphone to amplify their foolity. That's not a word, but I made a word. Foolity. Let's see. Jody. Oh, you're silly. Team AT, you're so sweet. My number one fan. Okay, well, I've given you guys the weather forecast. You didn't really have any questions for me that I saw. I did see a lot of agreeing and a lot of emoticons. Emojis. I combined two words into one and came out with emojicons. Sounds like a transformer. What else did I want? Actually, I don't even think I was going to post to talk about Twitter. Or something else I was going to say. I'm sure it had something to do with me. I don't know, or this whole operation. Oh, it was. So I'm just going to pass this along to you guys. This is like a little benefit. Jody had a 2011 MacBook Pro, and you press a button, and 5 minutes later, it'll do something. And it became obviously very difficult. And when I saw that in action, I was like, I can't deal with this, because I got my own computer that does that. It's like 5 minutes. I press something. Sometimes once I press it, it doesn't do anything. It just sits there, and then it's basically locked up. The only way to get my thing back was to press the power button. I mean, it was 2010. It was just a PC. So these two computers were hurting bad. And I thought, all right, what can I do here? Because I was about ready to toss them both and get new computers. So I went ahead and got her some memory for hers. I went from 4 gig to 16 gig, and then put in a SSD, which is a solid state hard drive, versus the one she had in there, mechanical one. That thing's flying super fast. And it was an easy fix. It was cheap. My computer, the memory's already maxed out, which was a pathetic, I think, 4 gig or something. And but I put in the hard drive, and it thing went fast. And I was like, hard to believe a little hard drive can solve a very old computer and bring it back to life. So those of you folks that have that, which I'm sure you do at some point, get a solid state hard drive. They're super cheap these days. I got a terabyte for $100. They got a 500 gig, I think, for 60 or 70. So they're pretty inexpensive compared to buying a new computer. So I would definitely spend that versus $1,000 or something like that. And they're very easy to replace, put in. Have if you don't know, have a kid do it. One of the young bucks that are just techie or dorky. Not saying that I'm dorky, but it can be done. Very easy. All right, Reagan. Thanks for stopping by and participating in tonight's festivities. I'm a little thirsty here. Let me get a sip of something. It's a little parched. Went on a 45-minute discussion. All right. Oh, you guys are having a Seahawks discussion over there. Oh, those 49ers stink. Actually, they're not. They're actually pretty good. It's just that one player that left stinks. Whose name shall not be named. But anyway. Right, Heather. I'm with you. Seriously. Hard drive would it may not get you, super fast, but it'll definitely get to where you don't have to wait an hour to boot it up. So I checked that out. All right, I think those are the things I wanted to discuss. I'm looking around like I've got something to look at. I think it's doing it so my brain can think. I'm scanning the floor, scanning the tables. There's really no purpose of doing that other than give myself a minute to process. Okay. I know there was something else. So on the weather, the pattern stays colder, much colder as we head into January. So long range forecasts call for a very cold January overall. So we shall be below normal, probably a couple degrees below normal overall when you average out the highs and lows. But there'll be some good cold spells in there. And I think this is our year for a good snow. None of this piddly stuff that melts or, it happens in the middle of the night and no one's awake to see it. None of that nonsense. I think we're actually getting some good measurable snow this year here in Oklahoma City. So we're long overdue. I want one of those big, blizzard type storms where you're buried. That's what I want. Like what we had a few years ago. Good grief, about 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago, wasn't it? 2009? Holy moly, we're up on the 10-year anniversary? Yeah, I think it was. I don't know, all these years run together the older I get. I know some weather guys that can remember everything, every event, every day of every month of every year. And I'm like, how do you do that? I don't even know what I did yesterday. And you can recall this, that, and the other. I'm like, That's why there's records. I go look it up. But I've also realized, Captain and Coke, I've also realized that you guys, it's just funny because when I was working for the news affiliates in my career on television, we'd have consultants that would come in and tell us what their market research was when they would interview you guys. And they say, hey, what interests you? What do you want to see? And they'll give you options: 5-day forecast, 7-day forecast. What's the most important in a weather forecast, in the weathercast that's on TV for those 3.5 minutes? And you'll always say forecast. And you would rank importance, and the importance of the current conditions or the high or low for the day was at the bottom. Now, as a weather guy, we always started with that because it's almost like kind of building up to the big unveiling, so you get the climax going. So we start with the little stuff. But as I got out of that industry, I realized how boring that is and how no one cares. So I just jump right into I just skip all that and give you right what you want. So I don't do a lot of stuff when it comes to current temperatures or the high or low for the day, or the wind speed, whatever, because all that stuff to me now is extremely boring. I have to have action for me to keep me into it. And why is this lighting so bad? You see how my hands look yellow, but it doesn't go with my face. And I'm jacked with this lighting everywhere, and I cannot get it to look right. So annoying. And it's weird because my face and my hands are the same color. So why would that be that bad? Oh, looks like I have jaundice. But it's only in my hands. I have liver jaundice right here. Oh. They don't look orange, they look like yellowish pale. But I don't wear any makeup in here. That's the other thing. It's just different skin tone, I guess. I don't know. I just went off on a whole tangent there about hands. Sorry about that. I know what I was talking about. Alright, so listen. If you guys have a question, shoot it to me quick, because otherwise I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to go watch a movie. Probably a Sylvester Stallone action flick that requires no thought. Oh, speaking of, listen, I'm going to tell you something. I was wondering about your yellow hands, but didn't want to sound rude. Becky, here's my O face. Get your liver checked. I did get my liver checked just the other day. Liver came back fine. Get my lighting checked. Why is it so bad? What's the rest of me look like? Oh, see, look. Yellow arms. Oh, my whole body's jaundiced. I'm dying. Okay, anyway, so I don't know. I gotta get this lighting fixed, but who cares? Just don't stare at my jaundiced hands. All right, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I am a fan of the Second Amendment, and I'm a fan of firearms in training, and by training meaning like, police style training, military style training, all that kind of stuff. So, like, I got trained at a place out in the I think it's Vegas area, where former law enforcement come in. They get hired and they teach you how to clear a house, how to handle your firearms, all that kind of stuff. So very safety oriented. So I know what what they call tactical reloading looks like and how to do it. And of course they have competitions for this, where these guys go out and just tactical reload, see how fast they can do it, their accuracy, hit the target, blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of, the whole thing's kind of a sport. Well, Keanu Reeves does this in addition to his martial arts training. So the dude is a total badass in real life. He's no longer Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Although he did look like, I told Jody, he looked like Justin Trudeau does today, back then. And when some of his older photos, I swear you could put the two of them side by side, and you'd think that Justin Trudeau, with his goofy look a few years ago, was Ted. But anyway, I digress. So the dude is awesome when it comes to firearms. And so he does these movies, John Wick. They're violent as all get out. I do not recommend watching these. But they're so cool just for the fact of watching him handle his firearms in a reload in reality, real life. In other words, as you would do if you're law enforcement and you're in the middle of a battle or something like that, or military. Is like no actor could pull that off. In other words, because that's what he does. He enters these competitions. He trains nonstop, and so to watch him do that on the film on the big screen was impressive. Because I knew what he was doing. I saw what he was doing. I was like, "You're really doing that. And that's awesome." But that's just because I was interested in that deal. And then when he, I said, don't watch them. If you don't like violent movies, don't watch it because of course, it's make believe, but it's Hollywood. And his kill shots are always they get me. They're hilarious because it's always like just two to the head all the time, which is when you do law enforcement, you do these drills, it's usually, like for self-defense, it's usually 2 to the chest and then 1 to the head. And you do that because you want to stop the perpetrator from coming at you. Okay, so that's what the 2 to the chest is. The 1 to the head is to end the threat completely. So when you're trained by law enforcement and they're trained, that's how they're trained. Everyone who handles firearms is trained that way when it comes to safety, protecting your life, your family, and people around you. So he uses that in the film, and so it's just interesting to see, but on a non-believable format where you kind of have to suspend reality in one aspect, but then watch him do what he can do, what he's best at, for fun. But anyway, it's a violent movie. so I really shouldn't be watching it. So, but yeah, they were, and the premise of the movie is terrible. It's just so sad. It's just tragic. It's like the bad guy, and you feel sorry for the bad guy, but there's other bad guys. So as long as one bad guy is getting all the other bad guys, what does it matter? But anyway, so they got one more coming next year, I think it is, and I think that's probably the end of it. I don't know. That was off on another tangent. Guess I saw that this week. Because I told you I was going to watch a movie. That's what triggered that. Sometimes I don't know how I get one place to another. Okay. What? Pamela wants naders. Winter's boring. And you lost all your badges. Well, Pamela, you can get your badges back. The more I start doing these lives and you start interacting, you'll get your badge back. You could become a Facebook fan subscriber, and you'll get a badge for that. So if you guys see like some others with little badges by their names, that's usually what it means. Just so that you guys know. And you can get that. There's a link on how to get that in the description on this video. Okay, so Becky must be late. She says, what's the weather? Brittany says, what's the weather? Yeah, y'all missed the weather. We had it about 50 minutes ago. And then since then, I've just been talking. But I tell you what, I'm going to wrap this up, and I get right into it pretty quick on that. So you can just watch the replay. I think the short version is we got a storm system coming out from the Rockies, which will try to produce some rain, sleet, snow, something like that. One of the big three next week, anywhere between, say, Tuesday and probably Thursday morning time frame. And the question is how strong it will be, and then the exact track. It could be southern Texas, or it could be Red River, something like that. So we'll either get something of it or we'll get nothing, depending on the track. And the models are just now picking up on it, and it's too early for them to have a good idea. But it'll be one I'll watch daily and then update you accordingly. So that's the very, very short version. If you'd like to see all the pretty pictures and the graphs to understand it all, learn a little weather one-on-one, then you can check out the replay. But that is it, my friends. All right, well, I'm getting out of here. You guys have a great evening, great weekend. It's good to talk with you, good to visit with you, good to goof off with you. And we'll do some more of these now that we're finally getting into the active part of the season. And I'm all caught up on all my other monkey business. All right, guys, be careful. Sleep well. Good night.